Welcome to the Leadership Unfiltered, the podcast where we unpack the real conversation that happens in schools. Today, we will unpack or discuss a topic that every educator talks about, but actually, understanding is crucial on this topic. What this topic is feedback. Someone says, without feedback, it's like that you are driving a car with your closed eyes. If that's true, then organizations, why they treat employees or their educationists without feedback, why they treat them as a roadblock, not as a roadmap. So to unpack this discussion, we have our distinguished guest with us. She is a PhD scholar. She is an educationist, a leader, and an advocate of equity. She is here with us, Dr. Amber Noor Mustafa. Welcome, Dr. Amber, to our podcast.
Thank you, Saima. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, and it's an honor to host you.
Thank
So, Ms. Amber, would you like to just highlight and just tell us about feedback? What actually feedback is, and what's the misconception among leaders or teachers? Like, how should we basically go about this feedback?
If we look at the or consider the literal meaning of feedback, it means that an incident has happened or something has happened or an experience has occurred, and then you sit down and you talk about it and you reflect upon it. And then the idea is to see what are the things that can be improved, but also what are the strengths of that incident, that experience. That incident can be long term, it can be over a year or maybe even longer. It can be short term, like a classroom observation. It can be like an incident that happened in the school spontaneously. So that is the literal meaning of feedback. So looking at the scenario, the context of schools generally, I feel through experience and through all the reading that I've done about feedback, it's sort of become an accountability measure more than something which gives you a sense of improvement. So the idea essentially is that there is going to be a conversation to understand what we can not do or do next time if this happens again. But too often it is used as a measure to see that, what are the things that this person did or did not do. And that is the kind of fear or accountability that people attach to it. And that's
Okay.
why it becomes like that, it's not something which makes people comfortable.
Hmm.
Does that answer
Yeah,
you?
it
Yeah.
is. So, Amber, what do you say? Like, then I should just consider it that feedback, it's a, correction, or is it a connection?
That's a very nice and robust way of putting it, Saima. And actually, it is supposed to be mostly it is a way for formative improvement. So if we have a dialogue about things, and we should think of it as something which is going to tell us how we can build upon what is existing.
Hmm.
Which is present. But like I said, it becomes an accountability measure. Sometimes, there is a parent who comes and
Yes.
complains, and then teacher and head will sit, and the head will tell the teacher that this is what you did wrong, don't do this again. At the end of an observation or in an increment meeting. So it has too many, in schools mostly the stakes are high, and that's why feedback becomes is viewed as criticism, that somebody is picking on my mistakes
Hmm.
rather than let's sit together and make a roadmap for improvement.
So, Amber, just building on what you said, like again, it's very important to again there are different types. Like sometimes stakeholders and including parents, teachers, they would have different respect of discussion, and they are just taking it as a criticism. So, my question to you is like how to basically define this thin line and how to make them understand that what actually this feedback is and how it would improve their learning or their point of view. Like how to go about that.
Well, I'm going to respond to the question in terms of how can a leader go about it, from the standpoint of a school leader. So there are two ways of making the feedback experience more productive and more, conducive to learning, in my opinion. The first is to be proactive. So we all know that in a school are going to be some long-term goals and there are going to be some short-term goals, right? So there is a vision, there is a mission, then there are 5-year plans, and there is a yearly plan, then there is a weekly plan, then the teacher makes a daily plan, right? This is how you have
Yes.
small parts and big parts. The idea should be that from the beginning you set those goals together. Then when you are going to sit and have a conversation, you will start from the same starting point, right? Your standpoint that this is where we should have reached. If I was supposed to have, say, for example, reading ability of 80% of my students should have improved, I set that as my objective. It did not. So we are both on the same page, the teacher and the leader, and then we sit down and have a conversation about it. It's not me saying, why didn't it happen as a leader? It's me having this conversation
Yes.
and trying to find out that what are the things that went right and what could have been better. Then not only does that become a positive experience, but it develops a culture of learning. And so that is where, we know that feedback is working in that environment.
Yeah. Thank you for this insightful answer. But Amber, just building on what you said, so what about parents then? I mean, we talked about teacher, we talked about leader, again, a shared vision. Yes, we do understand that parents should be taken on board while, setting up such long-term goals or even short-term goals. But again, like parents would have different expectation from organization, from school, and again, from every individual within that school. So how to basically, take them on board and how to make it more, productive for them, that this feedback would basically improve not only the child learning, their child learning, whatsoever the, procedure would be taken by school, but how to go about that and how to make them, connect with that school domain, that they should understand that feedback is there from the leaders, from the organization, and they have to basically, trust us. Like how to take up this opportunity and
Yeah.
how to work on it.
Saima, also have such a vast experience in schools, and you know that over the years there has been this increased conversation about including parents as a stakeholder.
Yes.
Earlier, it used to be the school, the leader, and the teacher producing results for the parent. Now it's become a triangle of the school, the head, the teacher, the student, the parent. Everybody is engaged in that circle of learning. So again, if we are going to make it a one PTM a year or two PTMs a year, and we are not in touch with parents, then it becomes an accountability forum, and too many times I've even seen children being held accountable in that.
Yes.
It's not a discussion anymore. When you have regular, say, maybe focus group sessions with parents, like, every fortnight, you have a group of parents come in over a cup of coffee, have a conversation with the school head.
Informal sessions.
Informal, and
yeah.
you're in conversation with them. Then they become partners in learning.
Yeah.
They also shift from a position of, I need to check on this school, to a position of where I'm part of this school. And then when you become part of something, then you own what is happening there. You don't hold them accountable all the time. So that is how I think you build a community of learning.
Yes.
That's and then they are not going to come one day and tell you that this teachers can do right and wrong. Schools can be good or bad. Things can happen in the right way or not. But when you make them your partners, then it becomes easier to share things which have not gone right.
How to go about this strategy where parents are being called for one-on-one sessions with the teachers, but again they might feel it that it's a hurtful criticism for them, or it might be a heartening feedback for them, it might be a helpful feedback for them.
And like I said earlier, there is a lot of we need to understand the importance of planning beforehand. It's very important to share. For example, even if you have a classwork or or an assignment, there has to be a rubric which defines what the expectation is. If we are sitting down with our teachers to set our objectives, we can do the same with our children also. For example, there is a student XYZ, so that student needs some help in reading. At the beginning of the year, why not have the teacher and the student sit down and set the objectives for the student as well? That, Miss, I'm going to work on my English sentence construction. So can you help me? And then, so both of them, so we have to put our walls down.
Yes.
We have to all make ourselves vulnerable. We have to think that mistakes are good. Mistakes, if they happen once, and you don't keep on making the same mistakes again, then you are always learning. So it's very important to have conversations in the school. And so that's what I can say about this as well, you know. And you have to know your students. There is no other way. I mean, like, you know, you can't give up on them. And you cannot, you know, Saima, that, you know, we as school leaders and teachers, we have a pastoral role as well. We are not just there to teach them to read and write. Have to be there for our students.
Chale, thank you so very much, Amber.
Thank
It
you,
was
Saima.
insightful discussion and a very fruitful one because again, this is important topic that
It
everyone
is.
should understand that how feedback works.
Yes.
So we have
For sure.
basically discussed and understood that again, it's a connection, not a correction.
Absolutely.
It's again a relationship, not a report. So thank you so very much for
You're
giving your
most
precious
welcome.
time to us. So thank you everyone for listening our podcast. I hope you must have learned some new things today. The important discussion points, those are actually revolving around the feedback, and inshallah, we will improve our institutions or organization with positive feedback and with the positive culture that can be created by leaders. Thank you so very much.